tears are gonna spill. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Someday your bird is gonna fly. Gonna build that wall until it's done. Gonna build that wall until it's done. But now you've got nowhere to run. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long.
Ah, hoje eu não esqueci de ligar o microfone. Tadá! Vamos pro jogo. Eu vou fechar aqui essa musiquinha. Seria bom colocar na tela do jogo também, né? Vamos lá. Deixa eu só responder umas coisinhas aqui. Ah, tinha uma coisa pra fazer aqui não.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Salve, Hiro. Boa noite. Aliás, muito obrigado por tocar esse som, porque eu
Oh,
achei que
Queen
esse som
Anne
não
don't
tinha
mind us borrowing from her treasury.
na stream. Eu ia colocar ele de novo hoje.
All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it.
Deixa eu trocar para machete.
Anything survives a musket shot ought to be quick work for that blade. That Gator's a crazy gal, but so is the gal who promised to look after her.
Ligar a furadeira agora. Ah, Pô, é, aqui tá tudo de boa, Hiro. E aí, como é que tá o senhor?
They said Queen Anne was just a folk tale. Now there's living proof she ain't.
Achei que eu tivesse mais aqui.
Cinder brick stout sure goes down smooth, then stays in your gut like a rock. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve.
Survive capacity, survive attack. Vou trocar esse aqui. Vamos esse aqui. Cansado, mas tá bom. Ah, vai, pelo menos acabou o dia aí, né?
Ain't never letting go of his old friend with a sturdy grip like that.
Spread. Pô, esses aqui são... Não sei o que fazer esse aqui. Dwelling Pistols.
Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm.
Já tô no final do dia aí. Semana já passou da metade. Então vamos aproveitar para dar uma descansada agora. Que boa música. Ah, como assim?
The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds.
Ah, tá. Aqui a fase. Só ralando. Vamos tentar esse aqui. Só ralando pra pegar afiliado. Ah, mas ele às vezes pode demorar um pouco mais, um pouco menos, mas ele vence. Mantendo a constância. Já recomeça. É, e acaba vindo. Ai, quase. Ah, quase. Acho que o mais difícil da parte do afiliado é conseguir a média de 3 visualizações por dia. Tentar aqui mais algumas vezes. Ah! Puta merda! Por um segundo. Faltou um. fazendo 2 vídeos por dia, um das 10 às 13. Ué, bastante você tá fazendo, hein? E tu tá com quantos inscritos já? Deixa eu ver o que eu posso fazer aqui na manchete horrível.
That's Trapper Shingle, only place in the city to go to get certified with a repeater. That's the Bullhead Court. Folks defended themselves there with shields, not words. Slinger Range is where the city's quickest pistoliers put themselves to the test. Over there's Camp Dauncey, where the brushers steeled themselves for secret missions. Point Lemaine's Grand Rail once brought the riches of the wild right to our doorstep.
Bora lá.
Know how Ceylandia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine.
Mas vai
If the
pouquinho, não
wilds
encana
could
muito
ever
com o
be
número não.
tamed, it was gonna happen right here.
Que eventualmente vem.
But now, the greatest outpost past the city line is nothing but a freak show. The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown.
Cara,
Kid might as well pick up where they left off.
eu não lembrava dessa arma.
Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done.
Vamos brincar aqui com a sniper.
Whole place shudders in a fit. The Grand Rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works.
Acho
Of
que eu tenho que
course, it's
subir
no
aqui.
longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. Grand Rail's all grown over with things of calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf.
sofrer. Ah, então essa é a melhor parte, viu?
Kid lets a few of them slip by.
Tem que fazer pra ficar de boa. Fazer por obrigação. Pô,
Lunkheads
foi dar, hein?
settled in like they own the place.
A pior coisa que tem.
Takes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers coughing fungus everywhere. Only one way to cure a cough like that.
Vamos pra cá? Dá, mas acho que... Tchau. Uma curadinha aqui.
Place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple. Of course, the Grand Rails see much more fighting in bygone times.
Ah, essa carabina é legal, mas eu vou voltar com a outra. Que eu já tenho a machete aqui. Pega essa aqui.
Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Celandian War.
Bote segurando as coisas. Tava vendo um gringo hoje e disse que obsessão pegar parceria tá 3 anos. É que parceria é complicado, né? Deixa eu voltar pra cá. Tipo, afiliado é o que a gente tem aqui, né? Nós, turma do...
It was right
Simplão.
here that Zolf's Ura
Mas a parceria ela é
forefathers
difícil.
decided to mix it up.
Mata os doidinhos. Esse dano contínuo que eu coloquei na machete foi a melhor coisa que eu fiz.
Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad.
Tá, aqui tá com cara de ser o caminho. E por aqui não tem nada mesmo.
The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs.
Passarinho é? Ah, o Shard. Deixa eu só... Tchau.
Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While choking on swamp weed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye?
Ah, daqui a pouco a turma aparece.
Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun.
Oh, caramba, tô muito dano. Cai de novo.
But then, at last, it's the end of the line. He'll be picking swamp weed out of those boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him.
Ai, cacete, esses bichos são chatos.
Not just another wallflower or pincushion, mind you. At first, he thinks it's Zulf. This is for you, says the man. Then wham!
É, o Zulf é meio cuzão mesmo.
When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there.
Uma carta pra Zia. It appears to be written by Zulf. Must be having another. Wow, the real survivors deliver a message.
The only words kid recognizes on that parchment are for Zia. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it?
Assim que pretendo trazer Nier Automata. Ô, Nier é legal, hein? Eu tava pensando em futuramente jogar em live também. Mas lá pra abril, tá... Então, é que eu não sei se vai dar tempo. E tem outras coisas
Kid
que eu quero
arrives
jogar.
just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking.
E... Em abril tem o Nier novo,
You
né?
wolfs down too much too fast,
Eu não
and
sei,
it all
mas Nier é um
goes to
bom
his
jogo, viu?
head.
Gosto. Ixi, eu não entreguei a carta pra ela.
I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this. What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once.
Ah, aqui é outra arena.
Once there was a normal Ura girl, But she wasn't born in the tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Ceylondia.
Ah, as arenas... É verdade, que as arenas contam as histórias dos personagens.
Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals.
Ah, acho que seria uma boa trazer mosquete.
Refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. Mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father.
Veneno. Vai me prender assim mesmo?
Her father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him. Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the Mancers. It's for your own good, he said.
Ah, tá. Ah, então você não jogou ainda, então, né? Nossa, pra mim é um dos melhores jogos da geração, assim, fácil. Desconfio que é um dos melhores jogos da vida, assim. Ele é muito bom, assim, mecânica,
She took to studying
principalmente a
the arts,
narrativa. Preciso dizer que
learned
o que
more
mais pegou
from
mesmo foi a
music than
narrativa.
history books, gained a knack for strings and songs.
Nossa, eu vou apanhar aqui, vai ser pouco.
At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city.
Nossa, dois counter que eu acertei bonito aqui. Ah, tô acertando o counter, mas não tô devolvendo dano, então não adianta nada.
Now, where were we?
Então tenta mais uma vez.
One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him.
Puta, esse bicho aqui. Vai tomando dano contínuo. Eu não consigo ver o HP dessa praga. Olha, não sei onde que eu acertei, mas acho que agora acertei bem. Acho que agora eu deixei o bicho puto. Tá, agora ele assumiu a dianteira. Eu vou ficar nesse toque me voe aqui. Ah, errei o botão.
The
Aí,
young man convinced her to take him to a family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals. When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out.
I dig my hole, you build a wall. One day that wall is gonna fall. Gonna build that city.
The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult.
City on the hill.
ai, filho.
Lost my train of thought there. It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals.
I dig my hole, you build a wall. One day that wall is
Ai, apanhar
gonna
nessa
fall.
música é até bom.
Gonna
Tá, que
build that city on a hill. Gonna build that city on a hill.
They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag. Then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal.
Spin.
São dois. Rapidinho, só preciso ver uma coisa aqui. No internet. Pam, pam, parararam, parararam. Hum,
Boa!
Não é isso aqui. Abre o navegador, abre tudo de novo. Ah, tá. Só um instantinho. Prontinho. Ah, eles se dão dano. Ótimo saber disso. Eu tenho que chamar os dois juntos, né?
I dig my hole, you build a wall. I dig my hole, you build a wall. One day that wall is gonna fall. Gonna build that city on a hill.
Ixi, outro tá pistola.
Build that city on a hill. Someday those tears are
É,
gonna
pensando bem, foi bom os dois não entrarem mesmo HP ao mesmo tempo.
So build that wall.
Lidar os dois com velocidade máxima seria um pouquinho.
Build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long. Build that
Agora os dois estão na velocidade máxima.
to the sky.
Ah, é péssima hora pra acabar de. Não foi? Ai, vou morrer de besteira.
But the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls.
Quem me bateu aqui?
The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tazzle terminals.
Tá, agora como é que eu resolvo lá embaixo?
Well, I digress. She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Return to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free. Knocks him into an uneasy sleep.
Ah, tá, vamos jogar aqui de novo? Ah, tá.
What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once.
Ah.
Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tazzle terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Celandia.
Ah, vou deixar matar, porque eu...
Now, where were we?
Não.
Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. Lost my train of thought there. Well, I digress.
Ah, é porque aqui eu cliquei errado, eu não tinha visto.
Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf. The trappers, daring bunch of fools. They'll be missed.
Eu vou comprar esses aqui, vai. Vou usar um pouquinho a marreta. Bolt Thirsty, Rain Wheel.
Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told him.
Vamos ver aqui na forja o que que tem. É da carabina.
That's the way to make every shot count. It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances.
Dois, três? Dois, três.
The shards are getting harder to find.
Proving Grounds. Aqui já foi.
No risk of Culford Cauldron ever erupting again, they used to say. Guess they were wrong. That's Trigger Hill, where the Army's elite became the finest marksmen in the land.
Vamos lá.
Not everything blew up in the Calamity. Why Culford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. Ain't gonna be easy getting a shard from a place like that. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt.
Alguma coisa.
So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this.
Ah, eu consigo fazer isso. Oh, eu tô...
As for us, we learned an awful lot from Culford Cauldron. That learning led to some interesting inventions. The raw power of the world fell right into our hands.
É um lança-chama deveras estiloso. Isso não dá pra negar.
Playing with the cauldron's fires became an addiction.
Vou matar ele só porque sim. deu aqui? Bizarro.
Can't fault our people for their natural curiosity now, can you?
Nossa, vou morrer.
Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here.
Ah, é aquela vida.
But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing.
Peguei especial, mas não tem especial porque eu troquei de arma.
The unforgiving scent of sulfurous dirt. The taste of air so hot it sticks to your lungs. It's awful hot in there. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. You can cook those things, but you can't eat them.
Queima tudo!
Never thought we'd find so much life in all that ash.
É, cai de novo.
We kept on sifting through the cauldron's secrets anyway.
Pera aí, aqui eu vou equipar a marreta. E aqui eu vou equipar o Fire Blows. Como é que é o nome disso?
The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found.
Essa arma é boa por causa da
Places
batida.
inhospitable as they come. But still we pressed on. After all, when we looked down inside Colford Cauldron, looked down through all the smoke and flames, we saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity.
Achamos o Shard.
We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him. Sure, it ain't the most convenient path.
Ih, meu fim.
Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. Well, it ain't polite to stare.
Vou botar fogo em tudo aqui.
Where there's one stink eye, there's always more. Best to keep out of the cauldron. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed any tears for him, though.
Ah, tô sem mana.
With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city.
Isso aqui é o caminho.
But all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it. It comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. We're all a little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight. They said the wild could never be tamed. If only they could see us now. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again.
Vamos virar aqui.
Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city.
Fire below. Nossa,
At least it won't get cold round here with that thing around.
ah, agora eu tenho 3, mais 2, né? São 5.
To fix a brusher's pike, you just need a good length of knife bark. The culture. A still life of old unwanted keepsakes. I've asked a lot of the kid, but this is something he's done on his own.
Tem uma coisa aqui embaixo. Breaching bullets.
Got a feeling those tools ain't just for use at the old forge. We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan. Not much left of Mount Zan nowadays. It's like a cross between a zoo and a prison break.
Ah, é o Provengados da carabina.
Can't rightly call Mount Zan a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. So they figure they'll hold out right here, on a slab of mountain the Calamity forgot. We only found their little lair because they found themselves a little shard. Good thing for those beasts the Calamity saved leftovers.
Ah, boa combinação pra matar esses bichos. Boa.
The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own.
Ah, aqui em cima. Fogo neles.
Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean.
Não precisava vir aqui, né?
There's only one kind of mercy left these days.
Bom, se me der uma arma, você vai deixar eu testar essa arma.
Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our Bastion is everybody's gain, not just ours. Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. Takes a lot of convincing, and our mortars have to do the talking. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have.
Pra cima e pra baixo.
They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have.
Subindo aqui.
Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square.
Ai, dançar. Essa chamas lá tá fazendo falta, né?
That's the way. He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. Oh, his manners ain't so bad. A sail hammer's only as strong as its spine. And that's a strong spine. He's made a right comfortable bed for all those bullets. That mortar's gonna leave a lasting impression. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. But may masons. We built the city strong. Now there's only two of us.
Tá. Vou mudar a marreta. Vamos usar um pouco a lança, vai. Eu vou trocar pela flecha.
Kid don't always care for fancy guns and things. A bow and pike will do just fine. High time we built something new.
Ah, aqui. Eu gosto que cada combinação de armas ele
The
tem uma
memorial
frase pra
may be
trazer.
finished, but our part is far from over. Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right? The secret to how we built Caelondia so tall and proud lies in Bastion Quarry. Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Caelondia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes Bastion Quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the calamity. We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Same goes for its natives, Rattletails.
Essa combinação aqui não tá legal.
Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit. The quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in those rocks. But there was even more to it than that. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things.
O dano dela tá bom. Ah, na minha cara.
They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry. The rocks were calling them.
Ah, saudade do martelão.
Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Rattletails kept tunneling in to snack on windbags. Without those windbags, the quarry might not have its special qualities. Even stink eyes started taking root in here.
Ah, cansei disso.
Why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Might be the gods told them the quarry's bad news.
Pô, eu vou trocar pra machete.
In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was a godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. Single core could keep the lights on in an entire city district. The smaller ones, we call them shards.
Bicho é muito estranho.
The shard's got a fraction of a core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Well, now the quarry's all dried up. These rocks are much too young to be of use. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive thing stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks in Bastion Quarry is Sir Lunky's head.
Ai, vamos lá. Caiu. Bicho bugou ali. E aí, turma? Raid do Red aí. E que eu tô apanhando aqui um pouquinho. Ele tá se tornando meio constante já aqui na live. Deixa eu pausar aqui. E aí, Red? Como é que tá o senhor? Como é que tá essa força aí? Tava lá no Final Fantasy Tactics. Ah, eu vi que você postou lá no coisa. Aqui estamos de boa. Estamos matando os bichos meio loucos aqui.
We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone.
Dei uma jogada e testazinha.
Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. Are you alright? It says.
É, grindar é foda, né? E no Final Fantasy ele ainda. No Tactics ele é um pouquinho mais chato ainda, eu acho. Pra ficar fazendo em live, não sei. Eu não
It's
manjaria.
him. I've come to warn you, he says. The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back. Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. If that's the way it is, he says, then I won't stop you. Because my countrymen will.
Ah, tô ligado. É, e o Tactics também não é um jogo mais dinâmico do mundo, assim, quando você vê de ação e tal. Embora seja divertido, não tô dizendo
Say
que não
what
seja
you will
divertido.
about Zolf, but he's a man of his word.
Mas às vezes vale mesmo fazer off.
His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though.
Ih, caramba, deu merda.
Too bad for that. Zolf showed him the way here, and here they came to take revenge. They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back. I should have told him sooner about all this. See, the Bastion's no mere safe haven. Big surprise, right?
Sim, seguindo a história é mais tranquilão. E a história é muito boa, né? Então você ajuda. Puta, sério que você jogou dado pra saber o Final Fantasy? Cara,
Unfortunately,
é uma maneira de escolher.
and they started digging their holes. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away at this place. We tried to stop them, but we needed help.
Quais eram as outras opções? Ah, era o WoW, o Eurotruck e quem mais?
Our baby pecker, he don't make it. Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zolf's plan worked.
O passarinho morreu. Tactics 7 clássico,
We find
passei
each other as the
legal de
dust
2.
settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us
Ó, só
back
jogão bom, hein?
for the calamity. It was Ceylandia's master plan
O Breath of Fire 3
to
eu não
wipe
precisava
the
terminar.
Ura out.
Eu joguei ele uma vez,
But
fui
part
bem
of
longe,
that
mas não
plan
terminei.
backfired, didn't it? If only Zolf knew the whole story. What were we to think? They must have got her, taken her back to her rightful home. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started.
Horas do D&D, Baldur's Gate 1 e 2, Never... Ah, aí. Esses aí são brabo demais. Tem um que eu joguei, que é esquema 1 D&D. O último que eu joguei foi o Pillars of Eternity. Você jogou esse aí? Eu gostei bastante dele.
Life wine so rich, they say it's brought men back from the brink for one last taste.
Bacana, eu achei ele bem legal.
Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. Now all we need is one last shard. The Brushers, they moved in shadows, but the Calamity found them. The Sanctuary. If we can build, we can rebuild.
É isso aí, vai jogar na cara de todo mundo. Oh, mas você tem bastante coisa, hein? O menu aí tá bem servido. Vou ficar pra marrer.
Ain't much kid can't handle with hammer and bow in hand.
Deixa eu ver.
The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way.
Os Zedragate. Fora que são mais pesados e vai só vou trocar.
One last
Sim.
shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand.
Ah, mas
Zolf said the Calamity failed, and he's right. The Ura stand as living proof of that.
essa lista aí que você já passou já tem bastante coisa boa. Eu vou dizer que de bater o olho assim, o que eu já destaquei foi o Need for Speed Underground 2. Eu tenho o disco dele aqui em casa. Se bem que eu joguei muito mais o 1. Mas o 2 é brabo também.
At the heart of the Calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. We put a lot of folks against that problem.
Nossa,
Scientists,
Demorou.
soldiers, spies, even me.
esse jogo era bom demais, né? Caramba, quanto tempo que eu gastei jogando
We
isso?
sought solutions far beyond the city. We traveled near as far as the kid's going right now.
Tchau, filhão. Bom, Most Wonder também, esse aí é bom. Fase de ouro do Need for Speed, né? Os caras lançavam o jogo todo ano e todo ano era jogo bom. Red and Furious. Boa, gosto. Oi, e aí, Alika? É, foi só mandar um bom trocadilho que o Alika já apareceu também. Ah, isso.
most of our efforts didn't bear fruit.
Dominique Torresmo. Eu dou
Then there was
apoio
a breakthrough,
a essa
but
lore
it
aí.
didn't come from one of our people.
É possível.
It came from an Ura, a brilliant young scientist named Ven. Ven worked for the Mansers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer. With
Esse
his
mesmo,
help,
olha.
the
Esse mesmo.
Mansers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnel shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone.
Olha que eu gostava de jogar com ele, viu? Era um dos meus personagens favoritos. Ô, esse Lead Dangerous, eu conheço acho que umas 2, 3 pessoas que jogam e o jeito que elas falam é muito empolgado. Que é tipo o Eurotruck do espaço, não é? Eu tô pensando no jogo
This
certo.
discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort.
Mas eu tô confundindo então. O mapa tranquilo, curtinho. Parece uma boa rapidinho de fechar o mapa. Bom, bom é que eles liberam o voo logo no
But
começo, né?
Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mansers' little science project, set it to blow up in their faces.
É o contrário de todos os MMOs, né? No MMOs a gente só quer voar, eles já dão um voo, agora a gente quer andar a pé. No Man's Sky.
Imagine how Ven must have felt when they finally made him pull that trigger.
O que tu faz então?
But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard.
Eita!
Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. For now, Kid had little choice but to pick up where the Calamity left off.
Você reconhece coisa? Pirata militar, comerciante, transportador de passageiros, mineiro. Ah, você faz uns pão de queijo também, se for mineiro?
First things first, though. There's someone we figure needed rescuing. Zia. The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already. I can barely believe he's come this far.
Ah, bem.
Black rye is like hot pineapple chowder on a cold day. Brings back memories. The conscience. We haven't lost everything, long as we have that.
Ô, demorou, Red. Vai lá. Boa. Boa miojão. Não tem nada. Vou trocar esse poder aqui por outro ainda não.
There's something we had to do before going after that last shard.
Zoltez Hollow. Dun, 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 dun. Vamos lá.
Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. He is straight down to business. They never saw him coming. He gets his hands on the care package I sent him. It's a little something I've been fixing up in my spare time.
Oh. Ah, aqui. Ah, o que eu devia fazer aqui?
It's not the time to get reckless. The Ura found a way to keep the calamity from spreading through Sultan's
tá.
Hollow. Kid has to put a damper on their plans. They got their own security and everything. Pretty fancy. Still, they ain't used to having visitors around. They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Break enough of those things and the calamity rocks slink back into the ground.
Corinha Salvador essa.
Those rocks are like tumors, the same kind the Ura planted in the Bastion.
Uma coisa aqui.
Well, the Ura must be in a panic right about now.
Vou manter ele, só vou trocar aqui. Isso aqui.
They even sick their little rattletail pets on the kid. Those rodents are just a bump in the road.
Olha só, né? Ah, tem que abrir pelo outro lado.
By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. Most of the Ura's conductors are squared away in the middle of the hollow.
Nós tiramos muita vida.
Those calamity rocks must be eating that place apart from the inside.
Oh. Tá, e tu aqui.
The Ura keep hanging on to that barricade. After all, their homeland's not much farther. Some of them are downright bewildered by what's happening. Maybe they know they've lost this. Lost to a kid.
Ela passa com o chão.
They underestimated us. Had us pegged all wrong. Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it.
disparam? Eu não peguei porque que faz eles pararem ou não.
Shame the opportunity for civilized discourse is over. Suppose old Zolf should have got to know us better. Maybe I should have trusted him. Told him everything I knew.
Cara, uma arma melhor agora tá fazendo falta, viu?
Zolf, the Ura, they have every reason to be angry. Beyond angry. But when this is all over, it'll all be water under the bridge. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. There's nothing standing in his way no more. He sees the Tazzle terminals loom large on the horizon.
Ah, não vou ficar matando esses bichos não.
Way out there on the edge of the world. That's where he finally finds you. But it ain't like Prosper Bluff this time. Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you weren't kidnapped. No, ma'am. You just had to see what happened to the Ura. To your own people. You had to see if everything Zolf wrote to you was true. They lost everything, didn't they? But they just keep on fighting like that's gonna bring it all back. Sure you didn't drop that twangy thing on purpose? Just to see if he'd go after you? He ain't big on small talk. I don't need to see what happened to the Ura. I'm trying to undo it, remember?
Salve, Marcelo. E aí, como é que vai o senhor? Ah, vamos... Quantas chamas?
The country, she's all to pieces now, but still looking good.
Foi. Carabina.
Even the army never issued carbines in such fine shape.
Ô, louco, enrolei, hein? É porque está... Oh, oh. Oi? Calma.
First step to learning the Calamity Cannon is knowing about the machinery overrides. On the inside, a fire bellows ain't nothing like its more popular air-spitting cousin.
Scrap muskets.
You want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel. The marshals learn to pack those shells full of fire.
Completei a cidade.
The city, Its riches nothing but fragments now.
Aqui eu fiz bastante.
Sometimes I want to ask him, why do any of this? But truth is, I don't want to know.
Ah, então beleza. Agora aproveitar esse fim de dia pra dar uma
Once
descansada.
the kid gets that last shard from Zolf, it'll all be over.
Aqui eu tô achando...
Zoltan's Hollow is the Ura's border blockade. At least it used to be. Grady Incinerator's where we sent off all our trash to be burned or be eaten by the wilds. Urzendra Gate used to lead down to the terminals. Now it leads up to the stars.
Acho que aqui é o final. Não lembro agora se essa é a última missão, tem mais uma. Mas mesmo que acabe agora, ainda vou fazer mais umas coisas aqui ainda. Tentar pelo menos alguns desafios. Mas eu não lembro.
The Tazzle terminals. All that's left of the Ura civilization. And the last stop on his little journey.
Once we enter this area, there is no turning back. Are you ready? Ai, ai, ai. Vamos fazer uns desafios aqui então, né? Que parece que...
Ceylonia's army only took the best, and the best of them trained on Trigger Hill. The Triggers believed they were nothing without their rifles. Nothing beats the feel of shooting a Ceylonian army carbine. Sometimes you had to take care to steady your shot. The Triggers had clearance to modify their guns however they chose. Some felt the course was too easy, so the Triggers spiced things up a bit. He blows through that course like it was nothing.
Caramba, peguei primeira, sim, primeira. Aí sim.
The Ceylonian army would have recruited him in a
Pra
flash.
tu ver.
The Triggers, my brothers, bravest men I ever knew.
Bom, já que eu tô no final... Cheater nada, não vem com essa não. Aqui é habilidade. Vou torrar toda a grana que eu tenho aqui. Nossa, tem bastante coisa. Aqui é player skill. Nessa live você tem que entender que tudo aqui é baseado na player skill. Não sei como as pessoas ainda não me pagam pra jogar.
He put some finishing touches on the business end of that thing.
Ah, sharp, sharp.
The solid frame can put an extra sting in every slice.
Busher spike. Critical damage.
Don't want that thing leaving your hands until you decide it's time.
Vou torrar tudo que dá aqui.
That ought to make those fangs sink in nice and deep.
Não lembro se isso aqui influencia nos trials. Vamos ver, vamos tentar mais um trial aqui pra ver se foi
Boundless
sorte ou não.
Bay used to be a weapons testing dry dock. Ain't never been this dry though. Ceylondia's armada was a glorious sight, and our ship's mortars were unstoppable. At Boundless Bay, our Navy put those mortars through a rigorous inspection. Had to use squirts to simulate explosive impact on the surface of the sea. Galleon skippers needed to be patient, needed to fire at just the right times. Sounds like the kid's mortar's in tip-top shape.
Ah, segunda tá bom. Something burnt. Vou tentar mais uma, vai.
If you got a thing for heavy artillery, then I've got the place for you.
Oh, demorou.
A variety of modifications could be used to enhance the power of a mortar. If a galleon mortar couldn't squish enough squirts, it was simply replaced.
Second price. Eu tenho que matar todos, hein? Nossa.
You had to be crazy to want to swim in Boundless Bay.
Então, eu tô já nos finalmente já. Falta só uma fase pra terminar. Hoje a gente
Galleon
termina.
skippers took a while to get a feel for firing those things.
Sem sombra de dúvida. Aí eu, antes de ir pra fase final, só tô fazendo esses trials aqui. Vou dar uma brincada. Esse aqui não tô dando muita sorte não. É, segundo lugar, tá bom. Isso é quanta coisa.
Too bad about the armada, but at least one of those mortars survived.
Ah, aqui.
The skippers delivered us from the motherland.
Vamos fazer mais um ou dois trials, talvez? Vamos ver, eu queria fazer o do lança-chamas aqui.
Welcome to Grady Incinerator, home of the hottest wings east of Ceylondia. In all seriousness, the incinerator was a dump, and it had a problem with peckers.
Fry packers before time expires. Tá bom.
Blasted things would swoop in and spread trash all around, until we started using the fire. We couldn't just torch them all at once. We had to use restraint.
É bom que eu tô fazendo os desafios aqui também, então tá valendo a pena. Vem cá, passarinho, franguinho, frango assado.
Peckers were willing to fight tooth and nail for all that trash.
Porra, 3 reais, vem. Next prize, 60 more. Nossa, então tem que ser mais rápido. The cinders.
Know how we kept the city clean? We put all our trash in Grady Incinerator.
Só um minutinho aqui. Deixa eu responder um negócio aqui. Prontinho.
Beggars that flock together were easy pickings. Keeping the incinerator clean was a paying job, but not a pleasant one.
Vou tentar mais uma vez. O ruim desse aqui é que a maneira de ser mais efetivo, eu tenho que usar o direcional direito com o X. E segurar o controle assim não é muito intuitivo. Ah, é só mais um.
Wasn't any other way to teach those peckers some respect.
Caralho, no finalzinho.
Who knows why we fought so hard to defend our own trash? The cinders kept the city good and warm, made it thrive.
Vou fazer mais um. Vou fazer um ou dois, vamos ver aqui. Ah, tem o da... Vamos da... Duplo 38.
You have to think fast to survive the wilds, and none thought faster than the slingers. They could shoot their pistols with the speed of a machine. They knew just when to start shooting and when to stop. Those pistols could spit out rounds just as quick as you could pull the trigger. Learning to hold your fire could be its own challenge.
Será que eu tô indo bem? Sim? Não? Talvez?
No matter how fast you are, you can always get faster.
Segundo lugar. Something stringy. Vamos ver
The
aqui.
slingers could plug you full of holes faster than you could say draw. Just because you're fast don't mean you gotta be reckless.
Se apertar rápido, ele direciona mais o tiro. Ficar apertando devagar, ele esparça mais. Ah, tá. Caramba, segundo de novo. Quanto que eu tenho que fazer pro primeiro? 700. Vou tentar mais uma vez. Morri. Tô apertando o controle aqui que nem um louco. Quatro. Deixa quieto.
Well, even the slingers weren't quick enough to escape the calamity.
Ó, eu vou pro final agora. Como assim o senhor está vendo bobagem na internet? Tá me dizendo que tem bobagem na internet? Que as pessoas usam a internet para postar bobagem? Ah, tranquilo. Sem crise. There is no turning back. Are you ready? Tô ready, tô pronto.
I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away.
It's also Thomas.
But he'll be all right. Just needs to get that shard from Zolf and come on home.
Morreu.
The calamity hit the Tassel terminals hardest of all.
Ah, não consigo alcançar.
You know why Zolf went back there. The place was his home. All his old friends and family were there. Taken by the calamity.
Como é que é? E se injetassem a vacina em mosquitos para ver se imunizava as pessoas mais rápido. Isso, a gente faz um mosquito da dengue com a vacina do Covid. Cara, seria genial.
Just waiting. You know what's funny? Well,
Morreram todos? É genialidade, eu nunca sequer pensaria um negócio desse. Ainda mais o Brasil tem toda uma expertise aí de contaminação por mosquito. Oh, gira.
all of us are waiting for a kid.
Brasil é mais que precisava.
Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right? But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this.
Então é isso.
When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. This disease the Earth planted here will go away. What happens to Zolf will no longer matter.
Ah, esses passarinhos do capiroto, viu? Ah, esse é novo, eu botei hoje.
Zealandia will be whole again.
Eita, restart de área. Vamos lá.
No telling where the kid is now.
Ah, devia ter aproveitado pra trocar a
But
arma.
he'll be alright. Just needs to get that shard from Zolf and come on home.
Vacilo.
The calamity hit the
merda de
Tassel
novo.
terminals hardest of all.
Você não conheceu o funk do Dragonzord?
You know why Zolf went back there. All his old friends and family were there.
É um clássico dos dias antigos.
Taken by the calamity. Zolf must be there all alone, just waiting. You know what's funny? Well,
Pera. Por isso, pra levar conhecimento ao povo. Cultura, né? Que se chama.
all of us are waiting for a kid. Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right? But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this.
Como?
There's something I want you to understand. When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. This disease the Earth planted here will go away.
O narrador desse jogo é fantástico. Vou pegar as curas aqui, botar os pequenininhos. E tchau, filho. Pega o jogo.
Zealandia will be whole again.
Vem cá. Eita, tô sem especial.
Everything will be back to normal.
Agora não precisa mais item de cura, né? Já perdi os dois continues. Vamos lá.
Problem is, we'll all be gone.
Tassel terminals with the shard. That's why we defall the Bastion.
Oh, we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. That's the power of the Bastion. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity.
Exato o Hulk. Ah, finalmente eu ganhei esse pulinho aqui.
Be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way.
Jogar você pra lá. Tchau. Vamos avançando, vamos avançando.
You follow me?
Tô te acompanhando, tô te acompanhando.
All of life's little setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at them.
Ixi, o chão tá caindo. Fudeu.
No mistakes. Anyone you've ever hurt. Everything you've ever done, you could do it over. And wouldn't that be grand? Wouldn't you agree? Well,
Tá cheia já.
I guess there's nothing more to say. Who am I kidding? Look. There's something else. A confession.
Pra cá.
How come I know so much about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place, but that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time.
Não é
You
pra...
can't test it. So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is... I don't know. You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's alright. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us.
Deixa eu vir pra cá ver o que tem. Ah, tá. Sim, esse ponto é bem interessante da história, né?
Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around.
Ele começa como um jogo bobinho, como tipo, ah, se acontecer uma catástrofe aí, a gente tem que ver o que aconteceu. E aí ele vai montando as peças pouco a pouco. E é uma trama um tanto quanto interessante.
The weight of the calamity. It's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go. Bastion does have another function, strictly speaking.
Pra cá? Deixa eu ter que descer.
If ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores, and we'd take off away from here.
Aí, Ana. De nada, viu, então. Sinto que cumpri meu dever cívico como cidadão. Pra cá? Tô cheio já.
You know Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you?
Aqui dá pra destruir? Né?
Zolf and the Ura. All they want now is to see the Bastion fall.
Aqui eu tenho que dar a volta.
Zolf dedicated his life to lasting peace between the Ura and Zealandia. He can't have imagined the city would try to wipe the Ura out.
Não, ok, vamos conversar.
Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid.
Começa a bater em você. Eu usou isso aqui?
For Zolf, this ain't a personal matter.
Ah, nossa, tem super ataque aqui, eu nem tava usando. Que esse caixinha aí?
It ain't a simple matter of pride either. One thing's for sure. The Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
Vejam só, nosso amiguinho rebelde foi traído pelos amigos dele. E aqui é a primeira grande decisão do jogo. Deixar o Zulf aí. Ou levar ele de volta. Deixa eu ver aqui uma coisinha. Dum, 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 dum. Vou fechar aqui. E agora? Deixa o cara aí ou leva o cara? Tem uma coisa aqui no OBS. É, decisão difícil agora, hein? Eu vou levar esse filho da puta, vai.
I can see it now. The kid in one corner, then Zolf in the other. Ain't much of a fight. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright. You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you?
See your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here. Eyes open wide, feel your heart.
Kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now. He reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days? Hey, kid. Get up, kid. Come on, that ain't funny. I said get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk. The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions.
You made it. Any moment I'd want to live again happened after the calamity, not before. When I finally found my people, I told them we could help. They just took me for a traitor. Glad you showed up. Zulf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world. So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes.
Hey, kid. You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you. Always wondered what the motherland was like. Not that it matters anymore. Zulf only brought more ruin to the Ura. No wonder they didn't take kindly to him. You've got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it. Don't let anything you've done get to you. You could save all those creatures here and now.
Agora que vem o momento mais fim do jogo, né? Quais são as minhas opções?
Ready to get this over with?
Bom, resumindo tudo o que aconteceu, né? A gente começa no meio de um evento chamado a Calamidade, que destruiu toda essa região de Ceilândia e matou praticamente todo mundo. E como um dos poucos sobreviventes, a gente foi parar no Bastion, né? Que é essa estrutura aí que a gente não sabe direito pra que serve, mas ela serve como um bastião de tudo. Oh, beleza, Ian. Valeu aí. E aí, conforme a gente vai avançando no jogo, a gente vai descobrindo sobre um passado que... uma guerra que houve entre as pessoas de Ceilândia e essa outra região chamada Yura. Que parece que estava sendo acordado alguma coisa entre... um tratado de paz, uma coisa assim. Mas que nos bastidores não ia rolar. Enfim, conversa vai, conversa bem. Aqui nós estamos no momento final do jogo. Que eu tenho duas opções. Ou eu posso usar o Bastion para voltar no tempo para um ponto antes da calamidade acontecer e as coisas voltarem exatamente como elas eram antes. E ao mesmo tempo eu não tenho garantia de que a calamidade não vai acontecer de novo. Ou eu posso simplesmente usar o Bastion para ir atrás de sobreviventes e seguir em frente. Mas com a calamidade sendo confirmada, assim, tipo, todo mundo que se foi, vamos ter que lidar com essa merda a partir de agora.
Just go with your gut. You'll do the right thing.
Restoration, initiate the Bastion Construction Protocol, Evacuation, initiate the Bastion Evacuation Protocol. Então, a primeira vez que eu terminei, eu fiz o final da evacuação e eu sou inclinado a fazer o final da evacuação novamente. Ah não, mas eu gosto desse. Eu já terminei mais de uma vez. Já fiz os dois. Então, não é que eu não vi nenhum final. Mas, eu penso mais na evacuação também, porque nada garante que ela não vai acontecer de novo e... Tá, você pode até pensar que você pode sobreviver de novo e refazer todo esse espaço de novo. Mas sei lá. Eu vou na evacuação.
Oh, mother. And here I figured you'd had enough of me by now.
Porque ao mesmo tempo que você ia voltar, você esquecia
You
de
could
tudo que
have
aconteceu nesse
undone the
tempo.
calamity itself. But instead, you want to stay. In a world like this.
Exato.
I gotta admit, kid, I ain't yet put much thought in that idea. But carrying on, with you here. We can't go back no more. But I suppose we could go wherever we please. And if anyone's left out there, I sure would like to see the look in their faces when we dock this thing right on their doorstep. Getting ahead of myself, though. I'm gonna need a first mate. What do you say?
I set myself
Nada garante que o looping vai se manter igual, ou sei lá. Pode até que não acontecer, mas pode acontecer. No fundo, são todas as opções incertas, né? Mas eu sou mais simpático à ideia de seguir em frente. Então, no outro final... Ah, beleza. Eles voltam para um ponto do tempo onde a vida segue normal e cada um vai seguindo suas vidas. Ele não fala se realmente aconteceu a calamidade de novo ou não. Mas cada um volta para suas vidas normais. Sem ninguém lembrar de tudo o que aconteceu, do relacionamento entre eles que aconteceu durante o jogo. E termina nesse ponto. Ele fala, cada um voltou à sua vida, aparentemente as coisas são normais mas tudo que eles passaram se perdeu no tempo. Pô, é bem curtinho assim, eles não contam muito mais adiante. Igual agora que você vê um pouquinho só pelas imagens. Um pouco do que aconteceu. Oh, obrigadão pelo beat. Valeu aí, Marcelo. Published and distributed by WBs. Eles vão até deixar lá os créditos porque a música é muito boa. Mas é isso, aí você tem essas 4 opções de finais, né? Você pode ou não salvar o Zulf, que no final das contas só vai mudar as imagens do final, né? Porque ele não vai aparecer. Você não salva ele. E se você escolhe voltar pro mundo antes da destruição ou seguir com o mundo destruído. Ah, bem lembrado aí, a campanha dos 10 anos, né? Terminamos Bastion. Semana que vem vou começar o Sonic Generations. Porque sem Sonic nesse canal aqui tá alguma coisa errada. Esse acho que deve demorar um pouquinho mais pra ser terminado, mas vamos lá. Hoje é quarta, né? Sexta-feira continua com o Nioh, volto pro Nioh. E aí segunda-feira tem Sonic. Eu precisava fazer algum bannerzinho pra deixar aqui. Eu postei no Instagram lá, mas não tá muito... Não gostei muito ainda. Mas por enquanto vai esse comando aí mesmo. Aí Sonic, Uncharted 3 e o Alice Madness. E aí a gente eu termino esse bloco, né? Eu já pensei em mais uns 5, 6 jogos ainda pra jogar nessa ideia. Mas eu vou fazer uns intervalos entre eles. Generations deve ser bom, né? Tipo Sonic que eu joguei. Não, Generations é bom, pô, não é? Se fosse Sonic Forces eu merecia umas porradas. Porque aquele tranqueira lá não vale o disco que foi imprensado. A Generations é bom, pô. É bom, as fases do Sonic moderno são boas, as fases do Sonic clássico são boas. Ai, perdão. Sonic Mania é ótimo. Esse você pode ir de olho fechado. O Sonic Mania é fantástico. É assim, não é bom apesar de ser Sonic, ele é bom porque ele é bom mesmo. Se tu achar uma promoção aí ou num preço bom, vale a pena pegar. E ele é grande até para um jogo de Sonic 2D, viu? As fases são grandes, tem acho que uns... Sei lá quantos capítulos tem, mas... Ele rende bastante. Não, o Mania é ótimo. Bom, e aí nós voltamos pro principal. Sonic Mania é o último grande jogo bom do Sonic, é o Sonic Mania. Só vou dar um continue aqui, pra onde que eu vou? Só por curiosidade. Pô, eu deixei... Agora fiquei triste. Eu deixei o passarinho morrer ali naquela invasão. Ah, eu volto pra fase final. Tá. Sim, ele tem muita coisa pra fazer. Olha, ele tem esses altares dos deuses que eles botam um nível de dificuldade a mais.
Piv. Lemaine.
E você pode ativar todos pra deixar o jogo ridiculamente difícil. Aí tem esse memorial aqui que é os achievements do jogo. E tem bastante coisinha pra fazer, além da campanha.
One of the rippling walls floated by, so I caught the kid's old knapsack.
Ah, tem isso aqui também que eu nem tinha visto. Tem esses 3 itens aqui que são 3 arenas, vamos dizer assim. Que elas contam a história do personagem principal, do Kid, do Zulf e da moça, como é que é o nome dela? Esqueci. Da Zaya. Aqui, ó, dá até pra ir level 10, eu cheguei no level 5, então dá pra fazer uma segunda campanha aqui. Story. About this. Ah, soundtrack. Soundtrack eu tenho ela oficial pelo Steam. Acho que quando eu comprei ela veio junto. Join mailing list, follow no Twitter. Ó, eu estou no rank 106.952. Entre meus amigos da Steam, tô em terceiro, então tá bom. Survivalzinho. Ah, tem o Stranger também. Acho que esse eu não liberei. Bom, mas isso aí. Terminamos Bastion. Deu bem no tempo certinho, foi bom. Vou fechando aqui por hoje. E ver uma raidzinha aí pra gente dar aquela fechada no dia. Vamos ver pra quem que a gente vai. Eu também não vou. Aqui, deixa eu ver. Deixa eu ver o que tá jogando. Papá. Oh, o Forge já tá on. Vamos lá dar uma raid pro Forge então. Nossa, ele mudou o nick, eu achei estranho. Aí beleza, vamos lá então. Então, é isso aí, fechamos Bastion. Sexta-feira a gente vai começar. Volta pro Nioh. Mas sexta-feira acho que vai começar mais tarde, viu? Acho que eu vou começar umas 11, não sei. Tem umas questões aí que eu preciso ver antes. Talvez eu comece mais tarde, não às 9 horas habitualmente. E semana que vem, 9 horas segunda-feira, começamos Sonic Generations. E aí deve durar umas 2 semanas, eu acho. Não sei. Mas bora lá. Valeu, Marcelo. Valeu todo mundo que estiver aí no Lurk. E até sexta-feira. Partiu.